That day when our eyes all yawned open to the impossible blue of that morning sky, so resplendent we couldn't quite name it. Prayer blue, breath blue, trance blue, that tinted all the windows of our memory forever. That day, we still replay in our minds, still watching everyday versions of ourselves, donning our lives just as they were just before. Fussing in the mirror over crooked neckties or lumpy hair just before. Flipping store signs to open or rolling out rainbows of fruit carts onto crackled sidewalks just before. That day, nudging children from their dreams just before we'd all learn the history lesson, for the day would be that day. To live through its tragic present, try to understand it within ourselves through words of such worthlessness, bodies, loss, hate, sorrow. Having to talk death's vernacular just after breakfast, a bowl of oatmeal, some juice, buttered toast, when? That day, after checking the weather and the stove, locking the front door, when? After trucking over bridges into the city or taking an anonymous ride downtown in a jittery cab or a huffy bus, or rising out of the dark belly of a subway, when? That day, when our eyes gaped at the news, fixed on the impossible blue sky, graffitied by red smears we couldn't quite name either. Fire, dragon red, gut red, war red, that set the towers ablaze like martyrs at the stake. The smoky souls that day, clouding all our skies as one sky, above our green corn seas or the waves of our coastlines, above our mountains' bare peaks or our prairies' polka-dotted dress of wildflowers. That day when we were one voice, torn up and asking, "Are you okay?" Or sobbing, "I love you," one last time. Or mourning the dead silence of unanswered calls. That day, we were all stockbrokers or cooks, CEOs or janitors, hoping to live through the unbelievable. That day, we were those lives on ledges, imagining the unimaginable goodbyes they must have thought before surrendering to the wind as wingless birds. That day, we were one breath, held together, until we fainted with the girders that were our bones, the concrete that was our flesh. But then we stood up, for every loss was our loss. Every brother and sister was ours. Every mother and father was ours. Every lover and friend was ours. That day, when we were also every survivor running from the plume of ashes to ashes. We were the courage of sooted faces and marred hands yanking us from the rubble, from the shards that knived into our minds, but not into our hearts and souls, that survived to stand here today, to keep naming that day, what it meant and still means: our bravery, our compassion, our honor, our unity. To remind us, unity is part of our United States. To remember it again and again and forever again. This poem was originally intended to honor the families of Cantor Fitzgerald, the Cantor Relief Fund, and Howard Lutnick, whose leadership helped lead Cantor Fitzgerald and so many others out of the darkness 19 years ago. His mission continues to be relevant today. Currently, amid the signs of a country divided, there's another, more hopeful reminder. We should remember how people of all nations, races, faiths, and walks of life came together, united in their response to the horror and shock of 9/11. As people are facing a worldwide pandemic and political, social, and economic divisions, such united humanity is still possible and should always be our goal. This poem reminds us that the tragedy of 9/11 showed us we have the capacity to reach a higher level when all people feel united and as one, bonded together despite our differences. Universal humanity and empathy are possible, and we have more that unites us than divides us. We have the capacity to have compassion and forgiveness and achieve higher goals of humanity and togetherness for all. 9/11 brought us to our knees, but for the most part, we also came together as one country, one city, one neighborhood, one family to rebuild and unite. We can do it again.